Welcome, viewers, to the Boardroom Breakdown. We distill complex strategy and tech into quick, executive-ready briefings. These are bite-sized videos that surface the essentials, the concept, the stakes, and the moves that drive outcomes. There's no fluff here, just signal, so you can ramp up on new topics in minutes and make sharper decisions between meetings.
Okay, let's get right into it. The buzz around generative AI is, well, it's deafening, isn't it? It promises this whole new era of efficiency and innovation. But for a lot of leaders, the reality on the ground feels a little different. There's this growing gap between the hype and the actual results hitting the bottom line. So in this explainer, we're going to break down that gap, what we're calling the AI paradox.
And the numbers? Well, they don't lie. Despite this massive gold rush of investment into GenAI, recent studies show that a staggering 80% of companies are reporting no material contribution to their earnings. Think about that for a second. All that money, all that energy, and for the vast majority, it's not moving the needle. That is the GenAI paradox in a single number. So what is this paradox really? Well, at its core, it's that frustrating gap between what AI promises, making everything faster and smarter, and the actual results, which are, often kind of underwhelming. Or even worse, they're counterproductive. It's the feeling of spinning your wheels, just with a much, much more expensive engine. A perfect example of this is happening right now in software development. So developers are using these new AI coding tools, and they're saving over 10 hours a week. That's a huge win. But, and here's the kicker, the very same study found they're losing an equal amount of time to what's called organizational drag. You know exactly what this is. Poor communication, unclear goals, information stuck in silos. They literally gain a full day back only to watch it disappear into the corporate ether.
And this leads us to a fantastic concept. It's called efficient inefficiency. It's exactly what it sounds like, using powerful, advanced tech like AI to do the wrong things faster. Think of it like this. You build a brand new supercar, but you're forced to drive it on an old, bumpy cobblestone road. Sure, you're moving faster, but the ride is awful, and you're not actually getting a better result. You're just compounding the underlying problem.
So if the potential is so incredibly high, why are so many smart companies falling right into this trap? Why are all these well-intentioned, super expensive AI projects just not delivering on the promise? Let's break down the root causes. It turns out the road to failure usually starts in one of three places. First, and this is a classic mistake, you try automating processes that are already broken. Second, the project gets hopelessly tangled up in organizational friction. Siloed departments who are on the same page. And finally, even if a pilot works, the sheer complexity of scaling it across the whole enterprise is often the hurdle that trips everyone up. There's this quote from an industry analysis that just hits the nail on the head. It says that putting AI on top of broken systems doesn't magically fix them. In fact, it often makes things worse by basically pouring concrete over your bad habits, embedding them even deeper into your company's DNA. You have to remember, technology is a magnifier, not a miracle worker. And let's just double-click on that scaling hurdle, because this is where most AI initiatives go to die. The research is shocking. 90%, 90, of AI projects never make it out of the pilot stage. They get stuck. And the reasons are pretty common. The tech isn't quite mature enough, there aren't good off-the-shelf solutions, you have fragmented projects with no real C-suite sponsor, and of course, the classic problem, your data is a mess. Okay, so that's the problem. And it's complex, I get it, but it's not unsolvable. The solution requires a pretty big shift. You have to move from a technology-first mindset to a strategy-first one. So let's walk through a framework that can help make sure your AI investments are actually creating real, tangible value. A winning AI playbook really has 5 core parts. First, everything has to be aligned to your main business strategy. Second, you have to be willing to transform your operating models. Third, you've got to measure performance based on outcomes, not just activity. Fourth, you need to empower your workforce to actually use these new tools. And holding it all together is robust, clean data governance. It's a holistic strategy, not just a tech project. And a huge piece of changing that operating model is changing how AI gets built in your company. The old way, having an isolated AI team in some corner, it just doesn't work. The future, what some are calling the agentic era, belongs to these integrated cross-functional transformation squads. This is where business experts, AI people, IT, data folks, they're all working together, embedded right in the business, solving real problems.
And this brings us to the critical point of measurement. We have to stop measuring outputs, the sheer volume of activity, and start measuring outcomes, the actual business value. It doesn't matter how many reports your AI generates. What matters is, did it reduce customer churn? It's not about how many tasks a chatbot completed. It's about whether you increased first contact resolution. The shift from "are we busy" to "are we winning" is absolutely fundamental.
This brings us to the ultimate goal, because the real prize with AI isn't just about doing the same things a little bit faster. It's about fundamentally transforming how your business operates, how it competes, and how it creates value. Let's be really clear about this. Achieving efficiency, that isn't the end goal. That's the starting line. It's the bare minimum. The real, durable competitive advantage comes from using AI to completely reimagine what's even possible for your business in the first place. You can think about this as a journey. At level 1, you have basic task automation. AI is just a helper, right? Giving you a modest productivity gain. At level 2, it's process augmentation. Now AI is more embedded, handling simple issues on its own, delivering bigger time savings. But level 3, that's the real transformation. That's process reinvention. Here, AI agents proactively manage entire workflows, with humans acting as overseers. This is where you get those game-changing results, like resolving up to 80% of customer issues completely autonomously. So as you move forward, you have to ask yourself one fundamental question. Are you just using this powerful new technology to build a slightly faster version of your past? Or are you using it to lay the strategic foundation of your company's future? The answer to that question will determine whether you fall into the AI paradox or whether you seize the AI advantage.